Chapter 3371, Open Shop, Dark Angel, Editor Kurisu. After vanquishing Duan Zhengji, Ling Han no longer had to alter his appearance. As the carriage rocked gently, he journeyed toward his destination. Upon arriving at Extreme Yang City, his cultivation had reached the middle stages of the third layer of the spiritual ocean tier. Yet an unfortunate truth awaited him. His stash of origin crystals had been depleted, leaving him in a most unfortunate state. Utterly penniless. Gongyuan's cultivation had similarly faltered. Once at the second layer of the spiritual ocean tier, he had plummeted back to the first layer. After over a month of ceaseless cultivation, he had only just broken through to the second layer, hardly a remarkable leap. Even if they toiled endlessly, refining origin crystals day and night, they would only manage to refine a mere 2 per month, each one a single-star origin crystal. Such a pitiful reality. Ling Han sighed deeply. Upon entering Extreme Yang City, he handed over the last of his origin crystals as a registration fee. This fee was a one-time charge, exempting him from future payments each time he entered the city thereafter. To conserve his meagre funds, he kept Liu Yutong and the others concealed, not allowing them to venture outside. Now, his immediate priority was not finding the remaining ingredients for the Restore Spirit pill, but rather earning money. Without wealth, how could one survive? Even if he wished to steal, he lacked the strength to carry out such deeds. Extreme Yang City, the bustling commercial heart of the northern regions, was a land teeming with life. 2 colossal powers reigned here: the Alchemist Society and the Spirit Treasures Pavilion. The Spirit Treasures Pavilion still bore its name, while the Alchemist Society's headquarters went by the title of the Northern Pill Palace Hall. It occupied nearly 1/10 of the entire city, home to countless martial artists and alchemists, as well as a vast medicine farm that supplied ingredients for their craft. This medicine farm was said to be enchanted by a gathering spirit array of monumental proportions, vastly enriching the spiritual qi within. The sheer consumption of origin crystals to maintain such an array was staggering, so much so that even the Winter Moon sect would tremble at the astronomical costs. When Ling Han learned of this, his hands itched with desire. He yearned to enter this medicine field, to harvest the rare spirit grasses and transplant them into the Black Tower. Only there, within the Black Tower, would the medicine field reach its true potential. But such thoughts were far from his immediate goals. For now, he had only one objective: to earn money, and earn it swiftly. Ling Han resolved to open a shop selling alchemical pills and a restaurant to generate a steady stream of origin crystals. While auctioning high-grade alchemical pills might bring substantial wealth, the rarity of such pills would naturally lower their value if produced in excess. Moreover, the amount of origin crystals he required was an astronomical sum. No matter how many he acquired, he would never be satisfied with having too many. Thus, he would not only occasionally produce high-grade alchemical pills to generate large sums, but also ensure a consistent production of lower-grade pills for a steady income. It is said that great heroes are often hindered by the lack of wealth, and Ling Han, with nary an origin crystal to his name, had no choice but to start anew from the ground up. He first harvested some ginseng from the Black Tower and brought it to a pharmacy for sale. However, the offer was pitifully low. His frustration led him to another pharmacy, but the results were no better. The shopkeepers, seeing that he was an outsider and his cultivation level was only in the spiritual ocean tier, sought to exploit him. In the desolate north, the spiritual ocean tier was considered middle rank, but in Extreme Yang City, only those in the spiritual pedestal tier were regarded as elites. Flower blossom tier experts commanded true respect. With no other choice, Ling Han reluctantly sold his ginseng at a rock-bottom price. The ginseng, cultivated for nearly 2 months, was approaching 300 years old, yet it was worth so little in the eyes of these merchants. "You will regret this," Ling Han muttered to himself, vowing that one day he would open his own shops beside every pharmacy and steal their business away. With the capital he had left, Ling Han swiftly set about opening a pharmacy and a restaurant. He opted for already established shops, which required no renovations. 2 days later, his pharmacy and restaurant were ready for business. Liu Yutong was placed in charge of the restaurant, while Li Si-chan oversaw the pharmacy. The restaurant was named Forget Not, signifying that those who dined there would forever remember the taste and return time and again. The pharmacy, on the other hand, was called Alchemist King Pavilion, a name well deserved, given Ling Han's prowess. Though the names of the two establishments sounded grand, business was slow. At the restaurant, Ling Han used vegetables, fruits and dried meats from the Black Tower. These ingredients, though high quality, could only be afforded by those with the means to pay in origin crystals. Yet for a newly opened shop, most patrons opted for the most basic fare, paying with gold and silver instead. The pharmacy suffered similarly. Despite the prestigious name, few dared purchase alchemical pills from a place that lacked a solid reputation. No one would take a chance, even if the prices were far lower than average. Ling Han would not engage in a price war, for the pills crafted by the Alchemist Emperor were worth far more than a simple bargain. Should he reveal his status as an Earth-grade alchemist? Ling Han shook his head. The Thousand Corpse sect had already spread its influence to the desolate north, and there was no guarantee that spies, or even a branch of the sect, did not operate in the city. If he revealed his true status, it would not only expose him but also allow the Thousand Corpse sect to target him more easily. Thus, he revised his strategy. He decided to serve exclusive delicacies, created with ingredients grown within the Black Tower. These dishes, available only for a short time, would be offered free for tasting. Within 2 days, the business of the restaurant exploded. Word of mouth spread, and more people arrived, many of them powerful martial artists. Once they tasted the food, they could never forget it, and they readily spent vast sums of origin crystals to purchase more. The prices were steep. Vegetable dishes cost 1 origin crystal, while meat dishes required 10. Ling Han had yet to bring out the demonic beast meat he was cultivating in the Black Tower, but when he did, the prices for those dishes could increase tenfold. Though demonic beasts were rare, Ling Han intended to keep their meat for his inner circle and would not sell it. Now that the restaurant was thriving, Ling Han directed the flow of customers to the pharmacy. As the restaurant gained fame, so too did the pharmacy. The pills, largely concocted by Li Si-chan, were praised for their efficacy, especially those crafted by Ling Han himself. In just over 10 days, both establishments were earning a fortune in origin crystals. However, such wealth inevitably attracted envy. Ling Han had no backer and had only just arrived in the city. Yet his success had caught the eye of a young man who came to the restaurant and demanded half their profits. Chapter 372, An Exorbitant Demand. Translator, Dark Angel, Kurisu. Call forth your master, the young man commanded in a haughty tone, his voice like a thunderclap. Behind him stood 2 attendants, each of them formidable beings at the spiritual ocean tier. In the extreme Yang city, the spiritual ocean tier might not have been the pinnacle of martial prowess, but it was far from being mere cannon fodder. To summon such elites with a mere flick of the wrist spoke volumes of the young man's influence. Clearly, he was no ordinary figure. His social status was one of considerable weight. The waiter, clearly apprehensive, hurried off to fetch the manager. The manager stepped forth to meet the young man, only to be swiftly dismissed with a single wave of the hand. The young man demanded that only one with true authority speak with him. Thus, it was Liu Yutong who appeared, stepping forward with an aura of calm that made even the bustling restaurant seem to fall silent. As soon as the young man's gaze fell upon Liu Yutong, his eyes gleamed with an unspoken admiration. Many women in this world were beautiful, but none so captivating as Liu Yutong. Her radiant beauty was a rare gem, and her cultivation a rare treasure too. Her presence alone was enough to captivate anyone's attention. His demeanor immediately shifted from arrogance to refinement as he bowed respectfully. "I go by the surname Lang. My name is Junkai," he announced, his voice smooth like silk, yet still carrying a hint of that previous arrogance. Liu Yutong regarded him coolly, her tone as unyielding as steel. "What business do you have, Mr. Lang?" Lang Junkai's lips curved into a smile, one of openness and calculated charm. "May I have the honour of learning your name, miss?" Liu Yutong, unfazed, answered calmly, "Liu." The young man, undeterred by her curt response, flashed a smile that seemed almost too perfect, his teeth white as snow, his face handsome beyond measure. "Miss Liu," he began smoothly, "I come with an offer. A business proposal, if you will." "Go on," Liu Yutong replied with a raised brow. Her interest piqued despite her outward calm. Lang Junkai folded his hands behind his back and leaned forward slightly, his expression thoughtful. "I would like 50% of the profits from Forget Not." His voice was a steady, bold declaration, the demand heavy in the air. Liu Yutong's lips curled in a quiet laugh, though her amusement was laced with disbelief. "Mr. Lang, is this some sort of joke?" Lang Junkai shook his head gracefully, his smile never faltering. "Not at all. I originally intended to ask for 70%, but for the sake of your beauty and status, I've lowered it to 50%. He clasped his arms across his chest and continued, "Allow me to explain what I offer in return." His eyes gleamed with a dangerous glint as he laid out his terms. "The city of Extreme Yang is a vast land, rich with profits. However, the spoils have long been divided among the elites, and your sudden intrusion, your acquisition of a slice, will not be met kindly by many. Among these, there are those with power enough to collapse your establishment in a heartbeat, simply by raising a hand. But with me on your side, Miss Liu, everything will change. I have considerable influence in the city. Once you raise the Lang clan's banner, no one will dare touch your business, your chairs, or your tables. Not a soul will challenge you." Lang Junchai's smile grew wider, the words dripping with subtle malice. "So, you see, Miss Liu, it's simple. Half the profits or risk losing everything. It's a decision only you can make." Liu Yutong's eyes narrowed, her thoughts a swirl of emotion, but she maintained her composed demeanor. "Do you believe yourself untouchable, Mr. Lang?" Lang Junchai leaned forward, his voice soft but piercing. "Oh, Miss Liu, of course there are laws in this city, but they protect the powerful, like the Lang clan. For now, at least, the law doesn't shield you. Only by joining the Lang clan can you expect such protection." Liu Yutong's lips tightened, her anger simmering beneath the calm exterior. "I believe you are greatly overestimating your position." Lang Junkai chuckled softly. "You may doubt me now, but I encourage you to investigate the Lang clan's standing in Extreme Yang City. And as for your restaurant, I suggest closing it temporarily from tomorrow. When you've made up your mind, come find me at the Listen to the Rain Pavilion. I'll be there, waiting." He stood, his movements slow and deliberate, and gave a mocking bow. "I shall take my leave now." "I won't bother to see you out," Liu Yutong responded coldly, her voice like ice. The moment he left, Liu Yutong turned on her heels and began her investigation into the Lang clan. What she found only served to deepen her concern. The Lang clan was a formidable force, one recognized even at the spiritual pedestal tier. They were not at the peak of power in Extreme Yang City, but they were no mere pushovers. More troubling, however, was the fact that the Lang clan was a vassal of a powerful Earth-grade alchemist in the North Pill Pavilion. It was this connection that gave Lang Junkai the audacity to make such a ludicrous demand. Liu Yutong's frown deepened. The situation was more complicated than she had anticipated. Could Ling Han use the name of the Earth-grade alchemist to suppress Lang Junkai? That would be a disgrace, a waste of his authority. Ling Han had indeed grown in power, but the number of reliable subordinates was still sorely lacking. Guang Yuan's cultivation had fallen, leaving him a shadow of his former self. It seemed that Ling Han himself, with his Earth-grade alchemy skills, was the most powerful figure within his own ranks. Even the mighty Hu Nu, for all her strength, was still just a child. Liu Yutong sighed, the weight of the situation pressing down on her. She knew that Ling Han would have to be informed. She could not handle this matter on her own. The next day, Ling Han smiled wryly when he heard of the situation. "A fly buzzing around, nothing more," he said with a small chuckle. "It's nothing to worry about. I'll visit the restaurant personally and see just how arrogant this fellow can be." Ling Han's confidence was unshakable. Even if Lang Junkai's clan had some backing, they were nothing compared to the power he held. Liu Yutong nodded. If things grew out of hand, Ling Han would simply reveal his true identity as an Earth-grade alchemist. Lang Junkai would kneel before him, begging for mercy. The next morning, Ling Han, along with Guang Yuan, Kan Ye, and Ju Wuju, arrived at the restaurant. Naturally, Hu Nu was not left behind. The day began as usual, but by noon, when the lunch rush began, several groups of black-clad figures entered the restaurant. They did not order any food, but merely sat at the tables, their presence oppressive. Their auras were overwhelming, gushing spring tier and spiritual ocean tier cultivators, enough to send shivers down anyone's spine. Ordinary customers quickly turned and left, unwilling to stay in such a charged atmosphere. The waiters, too, were reluctant to approach, too intimidated by the oppressive pressure. Liu Yutong's face darkened. "These must be Lang Junkai's subordinates sent to cause trouble," she said, her tone laced with fury. Ling Han only smiled, his eyes narrowing slightly. "Indeed. This Lang Junkai is no simple character. To mobilize so many elites shows the depths of his schemes." Liu Yutong, still furious, asked, "What should we do? Should we send Hu Nu to chase them off?" Hu Nu grinned, her eyes gleaming with excitement at the thought of a fight. Yet Ling Han, ever the strategist, raised a hand to calm her. "Diplomacy before violence," Ling Han said with a calm smile, though his words did little to mask the cold killing intent that radiated from him. "We are here to do business, after all. It's better to be amiable and attract wealth." As he descended the stairs, Liu Yutong rolled her eyes. "Amiable?" With the murderous intent in his eyes, Ling Han looked ready to turn the restaurant into a battlefield.